Well, Simon, you knew, Simon, yes. So I thought Conor McGregor had made a fool of himself in the White House, and it turns out he did really well. Really well. Really well. I liked his speech outside a lot. He can really talk. No, I do talking. One hit wonder, He really does that well. I was thinking, why didn't fucking compare it to our government? Our Kian Carla is like the speaker in like a. You can't even read. I remember when Biden came over, you couldn't even read off an A4 piece of paper. Biden gave a good speech as well in Ireland. Really good speech. Pretty fucking better than anything I ever was. Clinton gives a good speech as well. I remember I saw Clinton once in UCD. But yeah, Graham McGregor gave it, and I just found out he's going to run for president as well. At least he cares, you probably won't get in, Connor, because you care too much. Simon. Uh, yeah, Simon. He doesn't speak on behalf of Ireland. Yeah, more so for him than you. He. Come, I watched. Okay, I have a problem with saying the same thing twice. Just to reiterate my point. It's called oxymoronic moron. Simon's speech. He said the exact same thing twice. He just said it, and then I'd like to clarify and say it very simply. And it said it's kind of the exact same thing, just slightly reworded. That's really bad sophistication in grammar, logic, and rhetoric. Yes, very bad. Yeah, I thought he did a very good speech outside. And as far as speaking for the Irish people or the Irish government, okay, there was kids being stabbed on an altar or stage in city centre up by top of Parnell Street, very central. They got busted by people in the public kind of thing, or somebody busted it. Government officials were there. Mary Lou was there. I think Higgins might have even been there. They all had to be emergency escaped, and nobody talked about it. There's a big hullabaloo, and there was nothing in the news about it the next day. And the people that did know about it, knew what happened, started rioting. Yeah, kind of, yeah, And the Irish government turned it around on the people. They just did it because of the hatred, just hateful, horrible, bad people, and they blamed the general public. And so, as far as like speaking for the people, he's at least Connor speaking for the people. They don't even speak. They said zero accountability. It's massively zero accountability, and it's not zero activity. It's lots of activity. Connor, lots of activity and zero accountability. They're robbing us freaking blind. They're all on school teachers' wages, and they're all billionaires. Like that's what scum is. It's at the top. You see it because it goes straight to the top. It's not supposed. It's dirty stuff, and it's at the top, and you can easily see it. That's what scum is. When people call people scum, that they're at the bottom. It's like scum goes to the top. It floats on the top of the water, and you can see it. See the way I said the same thing twice as well. But anyway, I like the way I do it. Simon was pretty terrible. Simon owes me €25 for a block of hash. Yeah, where he was in school in Bray. He still owed me €25 for a block joke. And went to a pretty terrible school as well. Just let you know, Brendan was a kid. Just saying, go on, kill Leanne's. Yeah, Brendan's was. All they did was play cards all day. So you see why Simon became the Taoiseach, you know what I mean? He's probably just a glorified gambler of some sort. Where is this going? I can't remember. Kids stabbing and no accountability, and they turn around and blame it on the people. And Connor is not wrong about Dublin city centre. Exactly what I said 10 years ago. Dublin city centre was a metropolis. And I heard Americans are on, and it was all flowery, and the women are all dressed really nice. Nowadays you can't dress it you have to dress like a nun walking around Ireland. All it's just gotten so scary. But everyone's dressed really nice, and it was all flowery and musical, and everything was bumping 10 years ago. And I don't really blame the Taoiseach on all this matter. I do blame Sinn Féin, pretty much. Mary Lou McDonald became the governing TD of Dublin in this period, and that's when Dublin became a gun-running, gang-banging, crack-dealing nightmare. Mary Lou McDonald doesn't care for Ireland. Sinn Féin don't care for Ireland. They're populists. They pretend to care for travellers, and they don't. They kill. And they pretend to care for LGBTQ. They don't. They kill queers, young intelligent queers. They pretend to love Ireland. They don't love Ireland. They don't love Ireland at all. They're just populists. They're coming down from the north of Ireland, waving your flag around, saying, we think you're right. And it's very flattering. And look, all these northies think we're right, and they think we got the better. Sinn Féin mainly, I think, was the main toxicity, Simon. Main toxicity. I never found Conor McGregor. I defended him as well with that absolute bollocks case that was brought against him. He just told one of his work staff to do what they're fucking told, that he's the boss, and she just took it. You can't speak to me like that. I very much doubt it was what happened. She was bawling, crying because Anyway, yeah, I'm not getting into it. I did defend him as best I could on that defamation case. Um, and of course, that girl, Anita, or whatever her name is, donated all the money she got to help women like herself who were sexually assaulted and traumatized. Oh, no, she didn't. She kept it all. Didn't know yet. I thought she'd be really caring. Um, hi. I got defamated and I got stabbed a lot by women. So I take it very personally when exaggeration or defamation takes place about, So I've never actually found, as far as toxic masculinity goes, I blame that on the government. See, if anybody's like a drug, the way it's like everybody's like taking drugs and everybody's a drug dealer, and you need drug dealers because everyone's drugs, and then they get blamed, don't they? Like there's no drugs in China, the Republic of China, massive country. There's no drugs. There's lots of drugs in Ireland. Right? You can blame the government. If I had a kid and I was brought to court, and my kid was found with, I don't know, like a half ounce of grass, and my kid was in trouble, I'd turn around to the judge. I was like, "You're in trouble, man." It's like, I don't run the streets. You run the streets. Why is my kid finding grass on your streets? They're not my streets. My kid is finding drugs on your streets. It's not my kid's problem. He's a victim in this social fucking nightmare. I can't walk down the street with some lad going, "Want crack? Anyone want some crack? Crack?" all the time these days. It's the government's fault. And again, we're like the second wealthiest country in the world. We're pig wealthy, and like Connor said, the streets are dirt. Not to be personal about it, but the streets, like it's Dublin and everywhere I've gone to. Anyway, yeah, the Americans that were over, I was just about to say, they were on a European tour of capital cities in Europe, and they said, "This is my favourite capital city so far." Walking around Dublin. You walk around Dublin nowadays. I was down in Limerick over the weekend. It was beautiful. Well, it was nice and quiet and very clean. But compared to Dublin, like most of the shops down there were open. I don't think I really saw one shop that was vacant. Every shop in Dublin is vacant or is boarded up. Like, everything. There's absolutely nothing in it. And again, this is like one of the wealthiest cities and the capitals in the world, Simon. So yeah, you can blame the government. It's a very about toxic. Yeah, that's what I was going to. I've never found Conor McGregor toxic masculinity. Amazing amount of bravado, and you need that in a boxing world or a fighting world. Muhammad Ali. I am the greatest. I am like nobody called Muhammad Ali like a chauvinistic pig, just because he has to really tell himself. I know a trick about skateboarding. You want a skateboarding hack? You need to believe you're on the best skateboard. You need to believe your wheels and bearings are the best. You need to believe your shoes are the best. And when you do believe it, you skate a million times better. If you think, "Oh, I'm riding on something dodge, I'm riding," you skate kind of crap. He needs to believe he's the greatest, the Muhammad Ali. But I've never found him toxic, He's always kind of smiling, makes people laugh about it. He makes a lot of people laugh and cheer about it. I've never found him or thought of him to be toxic in any way. Actually, surprised how much he gets smacked in the head. He's still got a lot of brain cells knocking around up there. Surprisingly, you know what I mean? He's probably younger than me. Skinny arms and me. But I got big veins, man. Big veins. Big fucking veins. So toxic masculinity, yeah. And as far as speaking for Ireland, nobody speaks for Ireland. Thanks, yeah. Connor speaks for Ireland, but just like you said, the government don't speak. He doesn't speak for the people of Ireland. Well, he speaks for a lot more than anybody else speaks for Ireland. Nobody speaks in our government speaks or tells what's going on abroad. People know what's going on abroad. All right, people, like I said in these other videos, like these Illuminati watch me 24/7. Like on their little yeah. Anyway, their little pet. But they know that like the Gardaí abducted me, tortured me, and tried to murder me. They were probably involved in it. There are people internationally in the Rose world and all that are very aware that Ireland do very bad things and lie about it and cover it up and twist around the blame. I got blamed on it all. Me abducted, tortured, and then got sectioned and sent to hospital, and then they said I was the murderer, and that's why. And I didn't even know. I didn't even know about this. I wasn't even aware. I was like, I think I'm criminally insane now, and I can't even get a job because I'm like registered as criminally insane. The victim, it is how backwards the country is, and they got away with it. And as I say, no one spoke for me at all on my behalf. It's like we couldn't have it that way. Oh, we'd have to have that covered up. Oh, we'd have to. Oh, we could. So, and people know all around the world. So, like Ireland, like you're not like hiding it. They just know you're absolute filthy liars. I'm not talking to Conor McGregor, but the government and all, and the police. They know. It's like, and like in training day, and you hear the judges sitting around, and he's like, and the fuckers got away with it as well. Like, and they won't talk about it. They won't say anything, but and the fucking dirty Irish fucking cops got away with it. They're like, fuck. I don't like the kid either, but fuck me, those fucking pigs, I probably prefer the kid than the pigs. But everybody needs a dirty hand, that's why, everybody likes those kind of things. You need a dark guy, don't you? You need a bad guy. Um, Michael Corleone had a bad guy, didn't he? In the second movie. What was I talking about? Yeah, Conor McGregor. Yeah, I thought he spoke very ad lib, very eloquently, very passionately, and very respectfully. I don't know why Simon said to women and female children all over the world. That's what I assumed, that he had said something weird in the White House, and I was like, oh no, what's Conor done now? Or what's Conor done? No. But what's Conor done? And he didn't say anything about women. I don't know what that was in reference to. Um, Simon is no better talking about other people's criminal convictions, so he's probably was offended that Trump never had him over, or Biden never had him over, and he chose Conor McGregor to go over, and he probably just said it very bluntly. Oh, well, he's a convicted rapist, so you can invite all the convicted rapists you want to the White House, and he was just snobby and snubby about it all. But well, I'm happy Conor McGregor was there anyway, representing the people instead of Simon on Paddy's Day, and it's big warm Happy Paddy's Day, because like Simon there, like would not like to be represented by skinny little Simon, or even dreepy little Michal. Yeah, as far as the face of Ireland goes, Conor was a good one. Yeah. Was there anyone else? Fucking don't know. That's a good point, and because there is nobody else, may as well go for McGregor for president. As far as like popularism, he's friends with international presidents already around the world. You know what I mean? They might get a kick out of it. He's probably had more meetings with Donald Trump than any Irish politician. He has 200 to 300 employees in Ireland, which is kind of cool and impressive. So, and he has his own suit. That was interesting. What was I going to say? I can't remember. All right. Yeah, I don't know. I think I just had a point. Vote for Conor. Well, just be careful anyway. Not like the votes make a difference, but Higgins is actually very pivotal, Mr. McGregor, in this as well. And it's very touchy subject because he's kind of from Florida. He's actually I think he was born in Florida, and his Irish parents, and it is something to do with gentrification from Florida. And I know like Trump is a big Florida man as well. So if you are on good terms with Trump, you could have him look into Damien and all these these Illuminati guys. They're probably the ones that are running all these death camps, bringing all the single males in from the war-torn countries and having death camps off of the back of Trotter. And so it probably is somewhat American. We never know. No, Dutch American, but they're kind of Dutch Americans, Vandenbergs or whatever they are. If they are Vandenbergs, I don't know. But it is semi-American anyway. The problems that happened in Ireland. They ran Sinn Féin. They're running Sinn Féin. They bought Sinn Féin basically. It's like, if we're going to take over now, you need to kind of get on top of the IRA and who's in the IRA and Sinn Féin. So they got the IRA and Sinn Féin under their thumbs before anything, and that's how they got Sinn Féin so powerful. And Sinn Féin were practically throwing money away, giving €100 to anyone that supported them, and became very popular in the country, which is actually the essence of the downfall. I know Fianna Fáil and Fine Gael are blah, blah, blah. But anyway, those rich little piggies doing their thing probably kept the thing going for everybody in a way, although they don't care for it. But Sinn Féin are just dirt. Sorry, uneducated dirt. They even have like a token queer, which I found very offensive, because they kill people for being queer, just on the grounds of being queer. They're little foot soldiers. Real IRA, rah. What's new, boys? What's new in the IRA? Any names? All celibate, are we? All 14 years sainted and celibate. All philosophers, are we? All guitar legends, are we? Mastermind poet, are we? Stole my name. And all the quadrillions that went with it. So yeah, Conor, if you do get into Áras an Uachtaráin, I always think that sounds like the Uachtaráin word, the big white ice cream house. And you need an advisor, you don't have to pay for my wonderful looks, they come free. is all. But yep, Trump has me on his radar. I get like weaponization of the judicial system was my idea. Doge is technically my idea. I even you kind of mentioned that's like you mentioned money we're sending overseas. It's not really sending overseas. Ireland, well, and it's good that Ireland do kind of do that, a bit because Ireland, the rest of the world has received a lot of Irish over the years, I suppose. But it's mainly just corruption. Like that's even what Trump said. Like we're not even sending 8 million to Liberia to help with LGBT concerns. And like Liberia's like we've never received any money from America for as well. And it's like Trump said, it is basically just corruption. And there's so much of it going on. So even Ireland have this new initiative that they're backing some company, and this massive global tech company is coming over, and it's going to be government subsided. And this is what I was just getting onto recently about government subsidence. So if you're working in the government, you're spending all the money and putting it into companies. So you think very quickly, it's like, what if I owned these companies and I just take all the taxpayers' money and use the taxpayers' money to run my company, and then I just take all the revenue or whatever it is, and they're entitled themselves down to that. So that's really what it is. It's like a government-backed initiative, and there's this massive big government-backed initiative. It's taxpayers' money-backed initiative. People are paying for some global tech company to be in Ireland, and so yeah, it's just they're obviously going to have loads of factories and loads of businesses, and we're paying for all of them. But they're government, and it's like, and it's government, and they are in the government. It's like they might even keep them or pass them down, and they just keep the things sweet and just pass them on down to new ministers, and it's like, oh well, we need to oversee these. Yeah, it's bollocks. You know what I mean? All the money that those companies make, all of the money ought to go back to the taxpayer. Like, oh, we'll take this nice chunk and slice this off the tops, and because it's in our names. No, all of that money that the taxpayers things made ought to go back to the taxpayer, for the taxpayer building me a basketball court in my over a house gentrified little town. There's not a basketball hoop. This is what I'm saying actually. There's not a basketball hoop. You know what there is? There's little bored ass kids running around in gangs on crack. Government. Because there's not a basketball hoop in town. There's not a football cage. There's not a rec centre. And they say, oh well, recreational centres would be a focal point for trouble, other than sporadic trouble all over the streets. Yeah, that's a great idea. Yeah, you spend so much of the money on caring for the kids to keep them off the streets. They're all bored on the streets. I go bat crazy that I can't walk down to the shops and back without being hassled by a crowd of kids, and different crowd of kids every time. It's not like it's the same kids. It's always a different, and not kids. But it's all the fucking time. I'm getting tired of it, man. Absolutely. And it's like I'm nimble, I'm swift, I'm fast. I'm pretty strong. And I worry for little old ladies that have to do the same stint. They just think it's fun, but you get terrorized. You know what I mean? It really traumatizes some people. Just being, all right, what's going on? Got a euro. And some people just get terrified by that and stay at home for the rest of their lives. Young lads, just to let you know. And just to let you know, young lads, the problem is you think, but you just let you know, you take a look in the mirror if you want to make the world. You live in a really, 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 really wealthy and nice and beautiful country. Irish lads, I'm talking to mainly. And the only tiny thing actually kind of making it crap is, well, it's not your fault again. You're bored out. You're absolutely bored out your tits. Nothing to fucking do in this country whatsoever. And for some reason, Ireland's very cowboy, so the illegal stuff is always very appealing to the Irish, even if they don't want it. If it's just guns and gangs and fucking drugs. I swear to God, I have another video on this. I want to legalize cocaine, marijuana, and heroin. And I reckon if you legalize those things, they become boring to most people. They become so legal and boring they wouldn't even care for them. Had to go down to the GP and get 2 grams of coke for the weekend or whatever it is. I don't know how many grams of coke you take. And just because it's so methodical, and you have to go get your health check and you have to get your blood pressures done and all this, and you go and get your coke, they wouldn't care for it. It'd be lame. You'd be like, the man gave me my drugs. Fuck the man. Fuck drugs. I swear to God. It would just lose all of its appeal. I had loads of ideas for it. It made so much sense. It would just erase so much crime, because at the moment, all the people that again are being victimized because they're the ones being found on the streets. I was addicted to heroin for a year, every day. I was homeless for 2 years. I said no to heroin every day for that first year, and exactly 1 year anniversary of being homeless, I started taking heroin then for the second year. and they survived it. Yeah, look, rare case, rare case. Very happy to be clear and be away from it. But I hated the fact that I was a Class A criminal the entire time. It gave me so much stress. Obviously, the heroin helped deal with it, but I just hate, absolutely hate, because I don't like being a criminal. You know, I don't like being a criminal. Don't want to be a criminal. Some people might want to think it's fun, but I hated, absolutely hated feeling like a fucking criminal, and I needed to do this or I'd fucking kill myself or fucking die or something. It was absolutely horrible. So it was a tough place to be in, being a criminal for a year. What was I saying? I can't remember what I was saying. As a big silly rant on Ireland, gentrification. Ireland is a kip, and it's meant to be so lovely because we are so wealthy. We're so damn wealthy. Boredom, the gangs, the crack. Yeah, all right. Anyway, well done, Connor. I thought you spoke well, very, very well, very passionately, very clear, very direct, excellent rhetoric, excellent speechcraft. I'd say this all again, excellent speech. Just to emphasize my point, to say, when did you start speaking like that? Anyway, Simon, where does that creep in? Because I knew Simon, we knew Simon, we knew Simon. I'm older than Simon, big kid with a skateboard. What was I saying? Oh yeah, I didn't like Simon's speech anyway, compared to McGregor's speech. And Simon was just a Taoiseach there for a while, wasn't he? De facto Taoiseach for a while. Anyway, yep. So, abolish Sinn Féin, that'd be the best idea. Or, it would abolish Sinn Féin if you just legitimately, the way in Ireland you can have parties both, so you can have parties wherever. I don't know if you can have an English party in Ireland or whatever. Maybe you can. I don't know if you can have a fucking Muslim party in Ireland. You must be able to. No, can you? I'm not sure about this. I'm not serious, Sam. But anyway, I'd put just on the ballot paper, Sinn Féin, foreign party. Immigrant party of immigrants. It's a different country. They came from up north. They're a different country. They're immigrants. And they're running around running immigration protests. Leading the cattle, leading the herd. I was like, you're the problem. I'm like, yeah, but this is my town. It's like, we say no to this. What's going on in Ireland? Yeah, it's Sinn Féin. And there's Mary Lou McDonald leading the fucking cow herd. Come on, guys, let's go in the direction I'm going. Oh, I hate that troll-faced killer. I'll do it, Jerry. They won't suspect me. Anyway, yeah, well done, Claire. Sorry, mate. Actually, no, I can box Gregory now. I just like one down, red tag. Yeah. So, I can share a few tips. Never lead on a back kick. What is that about? Always, it's only the first thing you do, so I always kind of stop watching from sometimes. Leading on a back kick. You never turn your back on your man. You never expose your back. I'd be in on top of you in a shot, now drop down, boom. The second you spin, I'd jump in around to the left and I'd be gone behind you. You'd be wondering where I am. And I'd grab your leg as you're spinning. Never lead on a back kick. Sorry, this is Taekwondo shit. Just never leave your back exposed to him. Wait until he exposes his back. And jump. I also had some criticism. Mick Whelan taught me, just to let you know, where I get my excellent school. I also had criticism of Katie Taylor. Yeah, here's me picking a fight with all Ireland's best fighters. Katie Taylor used to bounce around like a bunny rabbit, and she'd leave both her feet off the ground at the same time. You never take both your feet off the ground at the same time. You always bounce from one to the other. Once I've been out all day skateboarding. One to the other, bounce. Always have one foot at least just sliding, touching off the ground. Never take both your feet off the ground. Because when you take both your feet off the ground, you're bouncing in rhythm. I can just time you till you're suspended in the air. And there's nothing you can do in the air. You're suspended in the air. Send you flying. Yeah, Katie used to bounce. Well, it worked, the bouncing bunny technique. Bouncy. But yeah, you go back and forth. Back and forth. Back and dodge. And Muhammad Ali taught me some footwork as well, But, yeah, well done, Connor. Yeah. Thanks for representing us. You did a good job. Big smile. Big thumbs up. The speech outside was beautifully flattering and passionate. I thought you spoke very well. Very clear and very direct. So, yeah. I'm not a fan of Rome, so I don't like Paddy's Day. But, yeah. Christianity, baby! Peter, Paul, and Mary, bring it back together again. Yo. Alright, peace out. Yeah.